Hello there, traveler. If you're seeing this video, it means you need to take a break and make something delicious. Why not join me in the kitchen? Today, we'll be making a delicious gumbo. While this only takes a little skill to make, it will require some patience to make the roux, so stick with me and trust the process. For starters, we'll need to make the shrimp stock. You can absolutely just use a store-bought shrimp or chicken stock if need be, but this will make a world of difference and isn't all that difficult to make. For the shrimp, we'll take 1 pound of shrimp with their shells on and get to peeling. We need the shells for the stock and the meat of the shrimp for the gumbo. Remember to take out the vein in the back, and to do that you just need to cut alongside it and pull it out with your knife. Once we get all those shells off, we can then move over to the stove. In a pot big enough to fit 7 cups of water, we can heat up a little oil. I'm using about a tablespoon. Then we can toss in the shells, stirring those around for a few minutes until they turn pink. Then we can toss in our seasonings. We'll need 2 sprigs of thyme, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 bay leaf, as well as a little salt and pepper. Don't oversalt this because we will also be salting our gumbo later. This then needs to simmer, not boil, for 45 minutes. After that time has passed, we can strain it and set it aside. I would recommend throwing it almost directly into the fridge here since we'll want it to be cold by the time our roux has finished. At this stage, I would recommend moving back to our cutting board and getting all of our vegetables chopped up and ready. We'll need 6 cloves of minced garlic, 1½ cups of diced onion, 1 cup of diced green pepper, a ½ cup of diced celery, and either 1 cup of diced tomato or a can, as well as 2 cups of chopped okra, and 6 ounces of andouille sausage sliced into coins. Some tips here for the chopping. Smash your garlic before chopping it so that it's easier to mince. If need be, you can also use a garlic crusher. I won't be upset with you. For the onion, slice off the top, not the root end, and then cut through the root end and then peel. Make 2 horizontal slices through it, and then a few slices perpendicular to the root end, then your slices that are parallel to it. For the bell pepper, slice off the top, remove the core, cut it in half, and then squish down the halves so that they're easier to dice. For the celery, cut in half lengthwise, then in half again, then across. For the okra, I would recommend just slicing off the stem and cutting it into coins, not doing what I did here. I think it looks prettier the other way. To begin this is the part that's going to take the longest. We need to make a very dark brown roux, almost the color of refried beans, and to do that we'll take 4 tablespoons of oil, heat it up, and then add in 4 tablespoons of flour. We'll need to constantly stir this, ensuring we get the corners, and to be honest, this could take up to 40 minutes, although for me it took only 10. This is where a good amount of the flavor of the gumbo will come from, so it is worth it. You could always make a huge batch of this for later uses of gumbo, and then just freeze it into portions for up to 6 months. After it's nice and brown, again looking sort of like refried beans, we can briefly set that aside to soften our veggies. With a little more oil in the pan, we can add in the onion, pepper, and celery. You want the onion and the pepper to end up slightly browned. The celery will not brown. Then add in the garlic and andouille until fragrant, about 2 minutes. Then we can add in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, as well as 1 teaspoon of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne until it turns a coppery color. Next, we can add our roux back in, then deglaze with our stock, ensuring that we're kicking up that goodness on the bottom of the pot. Add in the tomatoes, then bring this up to a boil, and then down to a simmer for about 25 minutes. After these 25 minutes is going to be the best time to adjust the salt levels since it won't reduce anymore. If you're feeling like your gumbo is a little bland, that's when you know that you need to add in a little bit more salt. Some people at this time would add in a thickener known as filet powder, which I could not source personally. If you had it, add in 1 tablespoon, but if the gumbo isn't at the consistency that you'd like, what we can do is add a cornstarch slurry of a ½ tablespoon of cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of water. In order for the cornstarch to work, you do have to bring it up to a near boiling temperature, just as another small tip. If you want to make some rice with it, now is going to be the time to do that. Now, most people recommend using a medium grain rice with the gumbo, and I do agree, but I am all for using whatever you have in your kitchen, and in this case, I have long grain jasmine rice, so I'll be using that. Don't come for me in the comments about that. Rinse your rice thoroughly, and use the finger method to measure your water. And what I mean by the finger method is measure up to your first knuckle for the rice, and then the knuckle above it for the water. After this is seasoned to your liking, then you can add in your chopped okra, letting it cook for about 5 minutes, and then add in the shrimp, cooking for another 2 minutes. Once it's finished, let's plate this up. Now, I know that okra is a little controversial, but I personally don't have a problem with it. This is obviously not as authentic as something you would eat down south, especially without the filet powder, but if you're looking for something that's great to have for the week or even freeze, this is definitely it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you next time, traveler.